In this video, we will talk about strategic planning, assessment, and advocacy. The two of those terms, strategic planning and assessment, are often considered dirty words in academic librarianship, but they don't have to be and should not be. Assessment has been a growing trend in academic libraries. We use the term assessment to mean several things. Assessment is used to learn how much the library service, library area, or public desk is used. Through counting usage and user feedback, we can learn not just how often, but why library patrons use a service and what their experiences are like. We can use this information to decide whether to continue with that service or keep the desk open. Assessment can also be used to learn how patrons use the spaces in the building. Again, through observation and user feedback, we can learn how and why users come to a particular area in the library. We can use this information to design spaces that better align with user needs. This also bleeds into user experience. Now, user experience is a type of assessment that looks at how students experience the library and how that experience can be improved. User experience can be about everything from library website design to the flavors of drinks in the soda machine to the arrangement of tables and chairs in the study areas. Assessment can also be done in the internal work of the library. We can assess workflow and job duties to make better use of everyone's time and ensure the important work of the library gets done. Assessment is most important and most difficult in determining how well the library supports major campus goals and initiatives like student success, teaching, learning, and research. And while this is the most important, it is also the most difficult. As we discussed in a previous video, we can have evidence that shows that students who use the resources of the library, databases, e-journals, and books, do better as a measure of GPA than their peers in their colleges and on campus. The question we are left with, however, is, does using the library make better students, or do better students use the library? To truly understand this, we would have to set up a study with a control group, a group who was not allowed to use the library, and a group who did use the library, all randomly selected and randomly assigned. And this just would not work. It would not get IRB approval because it's harmful to students who would not be allowed to access the library. The best we can really do is gather enough evidence that correlates with student success. Now, one other piece that is associated with assessment is accreditation. The university is accredited by a regional body. Now, for this, colleges and universities in the South, it is the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools, or SACS. And various departments, programs, and colleges have their own accreditation, like the Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business, or AACSB, or the National Council for Accreditation of Teacher Education, or NCATE. The library usually provides reports for the university-wide accreditation and also for any internal reviews departments do. This is a form of assessment that demonstrates how the library supports these programs and the work of the university. Assessment is also an important component of strategic planning. In strategic planning, a library sets out their path for a set amount of time, say 3 to 5 years, and develops goals, initiatives, and a vision for the library during that time. We need assessment so that we know what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are, how faculty and students use the library, and what faculty and students use in the library. Now, this will all help determine our future course. As I said in the opening, assessment and strategic planning are often considered dirty words in academic libraries. Why? Well, some look at assessment as a way to evaluate and judge the work of individuals in the library, with the possible eye to firing them. Well, this is not true, at least not in good assessment. Assessment should be about understanding what the library's users want and whether the library is meeting those wants and how to improve service overall. In some cases, this might mean a person needs to stop doing certain work they have done for a long time and learn new tasks that are more aligned with what users need. Now, this kind of change is scary, but overall, it's good. Some look at assessment as just more bureaucratic paperwork to be completed with no real benefit. And this cynical attitude often comes from the lack of closing the loop, meaning taking what we have learned from assessment and fix any issues there might be. This is similar to people's frustrations with strategic planning. A lot of work at planning and very little follow-through. This means little of the plan is ever achieved. When done correctly, both assessment and strategic planning are highly beneficial to a library and its users. They allow a library to know its strengths and weaknesses and then plan to improve weaknesses and maximize strengths. And finally, there is advocacy. We talked some about this in the video on library administration, but advocacy is how the library tells its story. It's how the library keeps the campus informed of the great work we are doing and the cutting edge services we offer. It is important for a library administrator to advocate for the library to senior university administrators, but it is everyone in the library's job to advocate for the library. Librarians are expected to perform outreach, where they build relationships with the teaching faculty on campus and let them know about the library can help them in their teaching and research. This is especially important reason for librarians to engage in university service. This gives them the opportunity to talk about the library to a broad range of campus constituents. Now let's end this video here.